Anxiety and depression, oh, they're very real.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, cause I've been living wrong.
What's going on, carnalitos? So yeah, man, anxiety and depression are some things that are very real and very serious, man. And if it's not treated correctly, you can find yourself in a world of hurt. Let me first off with anxiety. I first actually came across a real, let's say, panic attacks and anxiety almost 2 years ago. It was about February, I want to say, what, 2018. A lot of things happened in my life at that time. A few months prior to that, I got a letter in the mail, or actually like a month prior to that, I got a letter in the mail from the district attorney of Los Angeles saying my phones were being tapped and my cell phone was being tapped. I had the fucking cops raid my house for something that I had completely nothing to do about.
Cover the window right. Window right. Okay.
Police department, open the door!
Go around.
Police, open the door! Open the door! Police!
Hold on, I have
Open the door now! Open the door now! Hit it, hit it.
Do about. I had a very stressful job that had a deadline that just wasn't reasonable. It wasn't gonna happen, and at the end of the day, it never did happen. All that stuff combined with health issues I was having at that time. My doctor informed me that I was pre-diabetic. That if I didn't get into a new health regimen, that I was gonna have to start fucking shooting insulin. So now I've got all these things on top of me. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped eating fast food. I had all this stress at work. I had all the cop situation. So all this stuff just started, it gets in your head. It gets in your body, your whole soul, man. You feel it. And I found myself one day at the job site. I was getting into it with the guys, and I'm not talking about fighting. When you're at the job site, you get into it with the guys. You're just kind of, talking shit. And in the middle of talking shit to the guys, I just felt like my heart just started beating real fast. I felt like I was about to have a heart attack, man. I took a knee, and the guys were kind of tripping out on me, and they were trying to talk to me. And I'm like, just leave me alone, dude. I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to talk to me. And then I just said, you know what? I gotta walk away. I walked away, man. I almost had a little meltdown right there, and that was from all that stuff that's going on in my life at one time. I ended up going to the doctor. To top it off, now he's telling me, well, I gotta lay off the coffee. He gave me some pills to take in case I was having one of those panic attacks. And then I was dealing with it for maybe a good month or two, man. I would typically we would have meetings in these big construction sites. You do it like once every Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the superintendent on that job site has those meetings. And in those meetings, you have the foundation guys, which does the concrete guys. You may have the grading guy in there. Once you get a little bit ahead, you start having the plumber, electrician, drywall, on and on, depending on how far ahead in the job you're going. Well, once these meetings were going on, we go in there and we start shooting our timeline. Hey, I'm gonna need this area. Hey, I'm gonna work in this area. No, that way it kind of works like a fine oiled machine. But at these meetings now, I'm walking in there, and as soon as I'm walking in there, more people are coming into these small rooms. My heart starts going again. It's like you start getting panicked of the unknown, and then you start getting panicked just because you think you're gonna start getting panicked. And those panic attacks start feeling like small heart attacks is the best way to put it, man. It's something that if you haven't really gone through it, the only way you can really kind of relate to it is probably one of the scariest moments in your life. But the reason with the panic attack, a lot of times you don't know exactly the reason. Well, my reason was all that stuff built into one. I was taking on more than I could chew, work wise, life wise, and it wasn't even me just taking on. It was just shit being thrown on my life, man. And I eventually got it under control. It took me a few months to ease out of it, and I would still have those little triggers where I would feel a little bit of nervousness coming on, and I'd be like, fuck, dude, am I getting a panic attack? Luckily I can say now it's been a good year and some change that I really haven't had one of those. I was on medication originally, and then eventually I kind of started going off of it. But people who are having those panic attacks, stuff like that, be known that you're not the only one, man. This is life, and life fucking life will bring you a lot of stress that will do that to you. On another note, let's talk about depression. Depression, a lot of people believe that they haven't gone through it because they think of depression of somebody in a room with in the bed with the windows covered up with blankets, and you're hiding yourself, and you're just sleeping your life away, or you just don't want to talk to anybody, and you just want to be left alone, and that's typically what people think about depression. But in my case, that wasn't it at all. In my case, my depression took on a whole different form, and let me explain to you how I ended up getting my depression. I had lost my brother in, I want to say, it was June of 2011. So what I did, my brother passed away. I did the funeral services. I got everything out of the way. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get this out of the way. Let's keep life ticking and rolling, right? So my way of dealing with it was, I'm just gonna bury my carnal, and I'm gonna push forward life. I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna keep doing my shit, and I'm gonna forget about it. Just like, when homies pass away, keep going and forget about it. I would see my mom. She was definitely going through that major depression right away. Obviously, her son passed away, and I was being selfish. I wouldn't even want to go to my mom's house because seeing my mom that way, seeing her cry, seeing her go through all the pain that she was going through would bring me down like that. And instead of me sitting there with my mom's and dealing with it, like I said, I pushed to the side. I stopped going to see my mom. I stopped dealing with life's pains. I wouldn't talk about it. I was just like, yeah, I'm okay. And then fast forward about a year, in the summer of 2012, I woke up and I was rotten inside, man. I stopped going to my job sites. I started drinking heavily. I would start drinking at 10 in the morning. I stopped coming home from work. I was in a pit of misery. But it wasn't like I was hiding and putting my head under a pillow. No, I was using alcohol. I was using going out and drinking. I was using I don't give a fuck about my life or myself, let alone anybody else. I was reverting back to the old me. I was trying to just hide the pain through alcohol, hide the pain through destroying my life, man. And that was some real hard times for me. And luckily, my wife and my family helped me through this and got me through the depression. For a minute, I was taking some depression pills. I didn't quite like how they were making me feel, so I eventually started smoking bud again, and that's kind of what helped me out, to be honest with you. I started smoking bud again, and that really relieved me. I talked to a therapist for a little while, and that definitely helped. I started talking to my mom more about it. Me and my mom have actually communicated more in the last 5 to 6, 7 years since my brother has passed away than every time in our lives before. We just wouldn't communicate. We were just like two lions. She was a lioness. I was a lion, and we would just respect our boundaries, but we would never really get emotional. I just started calling my moms, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago. Before, I wouldn't call her mom. That was just the cold relationship me and my mom had, man. So what happens with panic attacks and depression is this. We as human beings, and some more than others, we have this armor. I used to have my armor, and my thing was, they call me so and so from this gang, and I had this armor, and you couldn't get through it. But as life goes on, I got a dead dad, kink, that's a hammer hitting the armor, man. I got a murdered stepfather, kink, that's another one hitting the armor. I got a dead homeboy, kink, that's another one hitting the armor. I'm going to YA, kink, I'm losing homies, kink, it's going on, and then finally, once my brother passed away, it was just like, it went kink, but this time it actually cracked my armor, man. And that's what happens with life, man. That's what happens with guys in war. That's what happens with guys in streets. That's what happens with guys in gangs. It's that armor finally being kinked, it breaks, and then your emotions start getting the best of you. Because after so many years of going through all this pain, going through all this struggle, trying to pretty much mask it, because especially as Latino men, we mask our fucking pain, man. We don't like to talk about it. We know by all our fathers are fucking just like me. I have a hard time holding a conversation with my daughter. I love my daughter to death. I would do anything for my daughter, but sometimes I just have a tough conversation, and I don't know why it is. It's just the Latino in us. That's how we were raised. We were never really raised with so much love and compassion from male figures, and I think it's hard for us to sit there and express ourselves, And I'm no different. You know, I'm trying to change. You know, and hopefully somebody can learn from what I'm saying and what I'm speaking on. Yeah. So you know what I'm trying to do with this video is let everybody out here know who's watching this, man. You're not alone, man. You're not weak to go look for help. You're not weak and take any kind of medication. You know, in prison, yeah, that's frowned upon, that's looked down upon. But let's be honest, what the fuck do prisoners know about mental health, brother? They have no clue. You know, that's just the way they run their program. But out here in the real world, nah, man. We sometimes need to take medication. We sometimes need to get help from therapists. We sometimes need to speak to people, man. You know, everybody in prison can act like they're a tough guy and they don't have anxiety attacks, they don't have depression. Well, I disagree, man. I think we all in one way, shape, or form have some type of anxiety. We all in one way, shape, or form have some type of a depression, man. It's just in human nature, man. But it's the way we deal with it. It's the way we coexist with each other. It's the way we talk, you know. Unfortunately, we typically hurt those who are closest to us. So when we're going through some type of depression, when we're going through some type of anxiety, we typically lash out at those we love because those are the ones, like I said, that are closest to us, man. But we need to kind of stop, put our brakes to that, and understand that it's not everybody around us' fault, but that they can actually help us to get through this. We can actually speak to one another. So when you're having certain problems, especially like in not anxiety and depression, speak to somebody, man. Speak to whether it's your significant other, whether it's if you're at school with a counselor, with somebody at work that you can trust. But you need to get that out of your system because if you leave it in there, it's gonna fucking start boiling up and it's gonna rot, man. It's gonna rot you inside. You know, when it comes to anxiety, I myself know a few family members that are having it. And I'm like, dude, go to the doctor, dude. Have them give you some kind of prescription. And I don't know if they're scared of taking the pills or what it is. But I'm saying, but look how you're living. I mean, sometimes you get people who are, dude, it's just like you can't breathe. You think the world, you feel like you're in a room and the walls are just coming in on you and crushing you, man. And if you're going through that and you're going through that more than 2 or 3 times a month, you definitely need some help. And it's it doesn't make you any weaker to ask for help, man. You know, we're human beings. Like I said, we're not made of steel. We're not Superman. We're human beings, and we're vulnerable to fucking life. You know, so I was inspired of making this video. I was speaking to Jimmy the vet from Vietnam. And he was telling me about a friend of his who's ex-fire captain, ex-Vietnam vet, and he's going through some depression himself. You know, so the guy's making real good money, but having problems with depression. And we were having that conversation. We're saying, like, Jimmy, he knows it just like I do. It doesn't matter how much money you got. You can be rich and still be depressed as fuck, man. Money will not buy you happiness, man. So, like I said, if you have an issue, dude, look for help, man. So on a completely different note, I want to say what's up to Victor. He's from New Breed out in the East Coast. He sent me a link to his Facebook page, and it showed up them out there fighting for breast cancer, man. Coming together. He said it was him, his crew. He said he even ran into some enemies of his from back in the days, and they all got along and fucking and had a great time. And he hopes to do it again next year, and hopefully bigger and better. But this one was actually pretty big. Look, they shut the whole city down. I'll try to get the link because I don't have Facebook and put it on this video, man. But shout out to you, Victor, and all your boys out there and gals out there in the East Coast, man. I see you guys pushing that peace out there as well. You know, out here in the West Coast, we're trying to do the same thing, man. So hopefully we can move this thing from coast to coast, man, and show our people that there's a better way of life. There's a great, beautiful future out there. We just got to go out there and get it. Other than that, guys, you guys have a great week, and I'll be getting you guys later, man. Bye.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong.